Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. The weather has been bonkers. It's cold and rainy, although I do have a dry spell right now. The weather has wreaked complete havoc on my plans and I've had to switch things up a little bit as the video has gone on. I am focused on pruning and on strimming, and I also do a little tiny bit of work on the pergola. Plus, I finally finished the shelf inside, and I do a workshop in pruning. And we start the video off with Sinead going on a bit of a crazy adventure. So rather than just talking about it, let's get into the video and I'll see you again at the end. Hi everybody, it's another cold and miserable day here in Central Portugal. And today is the day that Sinead has chosen to do something slightly crazy, pretty brave, and it's essential for her build project to move forward. She's got an architect working on her house, and the engineer is involved, and there's all kinds of exciting things that are about to happen for her little stone barn. But one of the things she has to do is have potable water on her land in order to get approval for everything. So she's got what I think is a pretty crazy plan to get a water sample, and we're gonna go down. I'm the safety officer. I'm gonna go down and watch over her while she, I don't know, wades into the unknown. And so even though it's quite cold and miserable and windy and there's no sun, everything's really lush. The grass is out of control. I need to get the strimmer on it. And it's really great to see the trees finally popping back to life. Spring is in the air, and I actually really love seeing this pecan tree showing signs of life, because it's been going now for a couple of winters, and each time when the spring rolls around, I'm never sure if it's actually going to be alive, because it sort of looks like, I don't know, it looks pretty sad at the end of the season. So we've also got, I think this is a Japanese pear, and this one is coming into full bloom shortly as well. And we've got some flowers over on my peach tree, so I really do need to get some pruning done, and that is what I'm going to get to in this video, which is really exciting. But first, I have a job to do. I've got to go be the safety inspector while Sinead does something that I think is a little bit bonkers. Alright, so we've got a bit of a mission ahead. Where are we off to, Sinead?
We're off to the water mine. I'm going in to get water from the back of the water mine. Not the back. As far as I can go before I freeze the tits off myself. To be tested to see if this water is potable, which I hope it is. Now the important thing is that you go in on the coldest day just before it's about to start raining.
When there's no sun in the sky. And I can confirm that it's not nice out here. It is not nice. So I'm going to hang it up here for a minute and just show you where we're going.
Because there's no point testing that water. That's not potable. That's disgusting, that water there.
This is true. So that's the sludginess. And Sinead is going into the dark hole.
I'm going in. It's not that cold.
Sure.
Which is a big thing coming from me. Not that cold.
Right. I'm horrified on your behalf.
Oh God. It's got deeper.
It's deeper than you thought.
Okay.
All right, give us a smile. Good luck to you.
Oh dear God. It doesn't smell great. That might be a sign that it's not potable. Potable water, potable water. Oh Jesus, Mary.
All right, are you still with us?
I'm still with you.
Keep radio contact.
I'm still here. I'm going as far as I can. Because that's what I do, man.
So how is it? How is it back there? Hello?
Hello! She's so long, it's so interesting.
It's interesting slash terrifying that you're in there. So while we wait for Sinead to resurface, this is the water source. And she has some very big plans for turning it into a lovely natural swimming pool. I mean, as you can see, it's not exactly lovely. And I wouldn't say it's
that's my hat.
drinkable. Did you lose your hat?
It got stuck on the wall.
Are you coming back?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I reached the back. Hang on. Yeah, maybe this water is too murky to drink.
Maybe it's what?
Too murky to drink. It's the further you go back. Oh God, my boobs. This is the coldest place. Ooh. It's lovely in there.
Yeah, this is some dedication.
It's clean!
It does look pretty good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know, I'm so interested to see if this is drinkable. I mean, every time I want to fill up my water container, I'm not going to climb in there.
I think you would. I feel like you like the scary dark tunnel. She wants to go back and explore further, but as a safety warden, I don't feel like that's a good idea.
Yeah, I need a strong torch to see how far it goes.
All right.
Dedication. Dedication.
Amazing. That was, you're not as...
I know, it's not cold. I don't understand. I don't understand.
And so, since you're not cold, what is this in aid of?
Two things. My plan now is to block up the mine up to the top part and then make it accessible from the top.
Okay.
Sorry, from the top.
Uh-huh.
So I'll have a cover here, and then the water for everything will be pumped from here, so it'll be clean. In my mind, it'll be clean because it'll be
uncontaminated from the outside.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely a lot of debris at the bottom, so that needs to be taken out. And then the water will be like a little waterfall out into this area, and we're going to dig all of this area back. We're going to remove that. I like to say we. I don't know who the other person is, but anyway,
me. I love a bit of digging.
I'm going to remove that tree with the help of humans, and then dig all of this back right up to the end of the wall there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn it into a beautiful pond or a natural swimming pool.
And what is the purpose of this sample?
Oh yes, this is going to the lab in Castelo today, and they're going to test it to see if the water is potable. In your face, drinkable.
And you need that because?
I need that for my engineer. So I'm on the engineering stage of my drawings for the house over there, and I need this for the engineer. If the water is not potable, then I'll need a borehole, which I don't want to do. I don't want to do because I don't think it's necessary. I've got like loads of water, and
you're just spilling it.
It's an unnecessary expense. And who wants to drill into the ground when you already have water coming out?
Exactly.
Nobody. So, good intentions out there. Wish me well that this is going to be potable water. It looks clean, like it looks clean. Look at that. There's nothing. I would drink this.
I dare you.
After next Friday, when I get the results back.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I think this deserves a high five. Whoop. Let's get warm.
Yeah.
So you think you could get your pump pipe all the way to the back, and then by capping it, you're going to keep all the debris out?
Who knows where the back is? Who knows where the back is? Anyway, get the pipe all the way as far to the back so you're getting the good quality water. And then when I empty the water mine, which when I first arrived here, I thought I was going to empty all of the water out of the hill. I had enough of here. I didn't understand how water mines work.
We don't know how these things work.
But anyway, I've since spoken to experts, and yeah, you empty the water and then it just becomes a little trickle, and then get in and clean out all the debris, which is, it's pretty debris-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody, cross your fingers and toes that this is get some good results.
Yeah.
We will find out next week.
Next Friday, hopefully, yeah.
All right. So after the water excitement on a gloomy day, the next day was a lot nicer, and that was perfect because I was heading to Keela Permaculture Farm, run by my friend Lawrence, to do a workshop in tree pruning and to enjoy a lovely Thai lunch as well. Lawrence runs these days every month, and it's just a really great way to meet the community, see his farm, see what he's up to, and you have the option to just have lunch, which is always delicious, or you can take workshops as well. And in this particular case, he was running pruning, and that was, for me, perfect timing. So the thing that I took away from this workshop is that it's so important when you're buying your tree to pick a tree that's the shape that you want. I had no idea that different trees wanted to be different shapes. Fig trees and olive trees and pomegranate trees have shoots growing at the bottom, and they really want to be bushes, so you have to fight against that. Other trees want sort of an open vase shape, and apple and pear trees and a few other ones, I think cherry as well, they have sort of a central branch coming off of them, and you should try to keep that. I had no idea, and as a result, I've got lots of crazy trees. But I feel like I learned loads of stuff on this short 2-hour workshop, and I'm gonna go through some of the advice I got as I tackle the neglected trees on my own land. In addition to the workshop, it was great just seeing some friends, meeting some new people, and enjoying a delicious lunch. And it's always a fun day, and if anyone is interested in these open days, I'll put the link in the description below. It's been a beautiful sunny morning, but the clouds have been gathering, and I'm nervous it's gonna rain this afternoon. I'm planning on tackling the crazy grass that's out there and doing a big tidy up around my place. Everything is chaos. I've been working inside, and I just am really, really excited to take advantage of this hopefully sunny day for a little longer so I can do some outside work. An update on Sinead's water results will be coming at the end of the video. We've had the results, and I'll share some more info on that. But right now, I'm gonna go tackle the grass, because even if I wanted to prune, I'd have a hard time actually getting to the trees because it's craziness. The sun and the rain combined just makes the grass shoot up like crazy, and there's loads of puddles down there in the land, so I'm gonna see what I can get done. But anyway, it's a lovely day, so let's strap the strimmer on and get to it. It's madness. Everything is very overgrown. The garden's flooded, but I'm not too worried about that because it's just sinking everything into the ground. This part is getting very crazy, and the section that I would like to work on is here because I can barely walk anywhere, and I want to get to that almond tree and that apple tree to do some work. And yeah, it's just craziness. Sinead's down there working on her trellis for her deck, so when she's done with both sides, we'll have another reveal of that. But right now, let's tackle all this stuff. But doing the grass at this time of year is definitely a lot more juicy than if you do it when it's dry. I actually prefer it. You always get a lot of surprises. You get filthy, which makes you feel like you've had a nice hard day of work. And you don't get the horrible grass seeds sticking into you. Plus it's way less dusty. So the grass is gonna grow back before the summer, at least one more time. And so I'll be doing plenty more strimming, but I actually do really enjoy doing it at this time. So rather than eradicating everything, I'm gonna keep some little tufts of flowers around the place on both terraces, just for the wildlife to hide in, the bees, whatever. But for the rest of it, it's gonna be total annihilation because it's getting really long and it makes it impossible to get anywhere. But luckily, strimming is one of my favorite jobs, so I'm just gonna keep pushing on and see how far I can get today before it starts to rain, because it's looking a little bit cloudy up there. Okay, so here's where I'm at. You can see the clouds are in the sky, they're gathering. It's getting a little more gloomy, even though we've got some blue skies over there. So what I've done is tried to liberate this apple tree from all of the grass, and same with the almond, because I want to put my tree pruning workshop to good use and see if I can lop off some of these branches. And I'm doing that while the batteries charge. So all of this strimming on this terrace was 8 batteries worth. The batteries last about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little less, because this grass is insanely thick. Some of it hasn't even been fully trimmed off, so it's just trying to make spots to walk, which is was the goal. And I've also freed some of these olive trees as well, because I'd love to get in here and give them a prune too. As you can see, I'm definitely looking like I've had a messy and busy work day. And it feels good. So I'm charging up some more batteries. I'm gonna try to get another couple of strimmer sessions in. But right now, let's see what I can do about these trees. So the pruning workshop I did at Keela with Lawrence, he made it look so easy. I knew this would happen. I knew I'd be like, yeah, that's totally obvious to take that one. And then as soon as I got into my trees, I'd feel confused and overwhelmed. But I think there was 3 things he said. He said, get the shoots off the bottom, which doesn't look like there's any down there. He also said, take off any dead branches, which doesn't look like it has any dead branches, which is amazing, because this tree has been very neglected. And then the last thing was, take off any branches that are crossing over or growing downward. And I can see some obvious ones that are doing that, so I'll focus on that, I guess. And then maybe look some stuff on the internet and see if I can get some further guidance, because it is confusing once you get in here. The almond tree, he said, is like the peach tree. It wants an open vase formation, and I've actually got some craziness down here. So the problem is that I didn't really choose the shape from the beginning, and so I'm gonna have some tough decisions to make. If I want the open vase shape, and if I want the tree to start growing more in this direction rather than leaning here, I'm gonna have to take off some pretty big branches. So I might think about that a little bit before I make any rash decisions. And yeah, just cut some of the obvious stuff and see where I end up. I just felt a raindrop, so that doesn't bode well. But yeah, this is quite satisfying, if quite confusing as well. So this is a bit annoying. I can feel the rain coming down a bit harder now. So I don't know if I want to keep working through the wetness and be miserable later on, or just call it quits on pruning and come back maybe later, or possibly another day. I feel like there's no point really getting wet and possibly sick especially when I have so much I can be doing inside the house as well. And especially since I don't really know what I'm doing as far as pruning, so I could be doing a bit more research on this. But yeah, I think this weather has just been super unpredictable lately, and you just have to know when to stop. And I think, even though this is very addictive and even though I want to continue, it's probably time to stop for the day. What do you think about this new grass? Fewer spots for you to hide, eh? What's that? What are you looking at? What do you see? What do you see? Okay. So it looks like the weather is taking a turn. I felt a few raindrops, so I'm gonna grab the strimmer. I was hoping to get a few more sessions in, but I'm happy I got a start on the almond tree, if nothing else. And if I do get another break in the weather, it's only about 3 in the afternoon, I'll be back out here on the strimmer to see if I can get more done. But for now, I'm gonna hide inside because, yeah, the rain's starting to come down a little harder now, and I don't really wanna get wet. So I'll see you again very soon, or tomorrow, hopefully, if it's a dry day. So I've been waiting around for the rain to stop, and it's kind of on and off, so it's a bit annoying because I'm already filthy and I would love to get back out there and just embrace the filth and get this whole terrace done in one day. I've also got loads of grass in my boots, which is weirdly satisfying. I always love ending the day messy and dirty and feeling like I've had a good day work. But it's really hard to know what to do when the weather is so unpredictable like this. So for the moment, I'm gonna head back inside because I still have the shelf project to finish up. Okay, I've got some more time, so let's try this again. So as with everything, this has taken way longer than expected. It's a brand new day, and it looks like I'll be able to get outside to do some work, so that's very exciting. So the shelf has some extra rungs up here where I can move them around. And I guess the idea is just to store the things that I use most often. So I think I can upgrade this just a little bit. Done and loaded, and I've given it a bit of a dust. And I'm really excited about this. I've got all the tools in here that I use the most. So I've got my little battery shelf from before, the tool of joy on a stick, the original tool of joy, all the bits and stuff from Makita, sander, drill, screwdriver, circular saw, grinder. I've got another small battery that I'll put on this bottom shelf. And then this, I was gonna put screws and nails and stuff in here, but I think what I'll actually end up doing is putting the tool accessories in this, and then maybe stacking some more up here. So things like different drill bits and screwdriver bits, and then all the Allen keys and things that are required for taking the grinder blade off and things like that. So I think that seems like a pretty good plan because I don't want to leave any of my Makita tools outside, and the mezzanine is a scary, scary place, and I kind of want to get things off of there. I also have some electronics down here. So this is the charger, and it flips on and off just with that switch, so I can keep it plugged in and not have to worry about plugging it and unplugging it all the time. And then I've got some extra plugs here, and I've got my internet and the walkie-talkie that I never use because I never know where it is. So I'm hoping Sinead and I can get into the habit of using that thing because it really is quite fun. And we've got Pickles, the doorstop, up here overseeing everything. And yeah, I like it. It looks colorful. It's organized for the moment, and I'm going to try to keep it that way. And right now, I think I need this guy, the tool of joy, because it's not a glorious day, but it is dry, and I think I can get out to do some more pruning. I just have to be pretty quick about it because it looks like we could have rain soon. So I think I've made a pretty good start on the almond tree, but need a little bit more thought and contemplation for that one. I have a much better tree in mind to prune, one that's way more neglected and way crazier, and it should be a little more interesting to watch as well. But before I do that, I just wanted to point out that I'm still in my fairly disgusting clothes, covered in grass, and that's because my intention is to get back on the strimmer later today and finish it off. The tree that I want to strim, guys, is this absolutely insane plum tree. It was insanely loaded with plums last year, and it looks like it's gonna be more of the same this year, but I'm definitely gonna pick the fruit off before it has a chance to form and give it a big old prune, because I've never really done anything to this tree, and the only time it's ever lost branches is when there was so much fruit on it that they broke off. So she's been neglected, but it's time to give her some love. So this is all looking a little bit overwhelming in here, so I'm gonna start with the easiest stuff, the low-hanging fruit, if you will. The branches that are growing just straight up, I'll take those off and clear out the interior parts. Because according to Lawrence and according to the internet, a plum tree wants the open vase just like the peach tree does, and you prune it in the same way. So there's a bunch of branches growing inward, there's a bunch of branches going upward, and what you want to do is clear out the middle part. So I don't know, I guess there's airflow, wind flow to be able to pollinate the flowers, I guess, and it just makes the tree look a little bit less insane. I don't know if I should take this one. This is also where I could think about the shape. I've got this branch here growing kind of into the path, and it's in the way, so it probably would make sense for me to try to lop it off maybe here so that the tree is more likely to grow upwards instead of outwards. Because this part here is not going to get any higher. It's always going to be at this height, it's always going to be in the way. So I'm going to carry on pruning the rest of the tree and think about this, because I think one thing I've learned from pruning is that it does take some pretty hard decisions along the way. But if I start with the easy stuff, maybe by the end of that stage, things will become a bit more clear. Oops. Well, I guess that one's gonna go. I probably shouldn't be doing this one-handed while holding the camera, so let's switch things up a bit. So I think I've got a bit more work to do on the plum tree that's going to involve the ladder, but I thought I would come over here and visit the grapefruit to see if I can try to determine its shape from the very start. I nearly stomped in this garden. I forgot that we've got some, I think it's spring onions and lettuce in here. That lettuce over there isn't looking so good. This guy looks like it's on the way. And in order to get to the grapefruit tree, I have to do a little bit of river hopping. It's not amazing in here. Okay, so based on the lessons that I had from Lawrence, I want to determine the shape of the tree from the very beginning, and I don't really want things down at the very bottom of the tree. I'd rather have a little bit more of a branch and then start the shape up here where these two branches meet. This is never going to get any taller than it is right now, and same with these ones, so I don't necessarily want the branches coming out so low. I want all the energy to go into the tree to start growing outward from this fork up here. So I think I got a bit carried away because I just remembered that the pruning time for citrus, and this is a grapefruit, is actually at the end of the spring, beginning of the summer. So hopefully she's okay. I did see a grapefruit on this one last year, so yeah, let's see if she survives my unseasonal pruning. But I can go investigate the cherry tree, and this one has me really stumped. So this is a cherry tree, and to me it looks a little crazy. I wasn't sure what to do about this lead runner, but Lawrence in his course said that a cherry tree, like an apple and pear tree, wants to have that one branch going up and then other branches coming off of it. So I don't really know exactly what to do here. According to that, I should probably prune this weirdness off and then this one here, and then maybe try to tilt the tree over, and you can see we've got, well, maybe I keep this one, get rid of that one. I don't know. I have no idea. What I do know is that Lawrence did say to chop off 2/3 of the branches to give them a better chance at growing, so I'll do that for all these things just to encourage growth. And then I'm just going to see what happens. That one looks dead. And yeah, I don't really know exactly what these little stumpy bits are. So I'm going to monitor this and then make a decision on the shape, I think, next year. I did just mention that it's not the time to prune citrus, but I think I might get in here with the lime tree because there's no airflow in here. And I know that's not a good thing. So let's just snip off a couple of these young branches here and make some space in this tree and get the ones that are crossing over. And I guess it's just about, I don't know, getting into habit, getting to know your tree, monitoring things every year, seeing how things go, how things grow. Let's get rid of this one here. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. It is tricky because I feel like this one shouldn't be kind of going over there to the middle, but it looks like it's a nice, healthy, and successful branch. So I kind of don't want to touch it, at least not this year. So the conclusion that I've come to with pruning is that it's kind of difficult and annoying. But that hopefully, with time, as with everything else I'm doing in this off-grid life of mine, hopefully with time I'll learn the skills that I need in all of these various areas. And the next time I venture into the middle of my lime tree, I won't be doing it terrified, because I love this tree. But I definitely feel a lot better giving this little lime tree a bit more breathing room. And I've discovered a lime. I probably should have picked this while it was green, but I'm sure it'll still be delicious. So, I don't know, I feel like this is good enough for the lime tree. Let's go check out my apple tree down on the terrace below. So the almond tree is looking better than it was. I think I need to get up on the ladder and trim some of those back a bit to encourage growth. And the thing that I'm worried about, I'm thinking about, is taking off this branch, and this branch, so that these two branches become the main ones and it grows up more straight. Right now it's kind of, I don't know, leaning over to the side. And almond trees, when they have lots of fruit on them, they sag down loads. And I think I would rather have my trees a bit more compact so I can put stuff underneath, so I can grow things under there. This will eventually just lean into my garden and maybe make it difficult to strim and stuff like that. Who knows, but that's what I'm thinking anyway. It needs more thought though, because it seems pretty drastic. And then over here, this is my apple tree. So as I mentioned maybe previously, apple trees and pear trees are supposed to, at least according to the workshop, have a central leader and then have all the branches coming off of that. In Portugal, they often cut it in a way that gets rid of that leader. And so this one instead has the open vase thing happening with 1, 2, 3, and then everything coming off of that. So that's fine. I think I'll just stick with that rather than try to force it back into some other shape. And I'll do what I know. I'll take off the stuff that's crossing over, the stuff that's growing in, maybe the branches that are getting too crowded, and try to encourage that open shape. I would like to get another branch growing in this direction, so maybe I'll keep that little one there and that one there and see what happens. And yeah, as with everything else, I'll take off the ends of the branches just to encourage faster growth. Can get rid of this guy. Maybe this one that's coming in. And then maybe these ones that are growing a little close together. Though that's probably a two-handed operation. Lop off some of the ends to encourage growth. Maybe that one's a bit too close. Yeah, it's not a science. Well, it probably is a science. But for my purposes, pruning is just, yeah, just about trial and error and trying to learn what I can, researching when I need to. Taking the workshop was a nice intro. And then basically just going for it and observing what happens. I mean, I've seen nicer shaped trees, but I've seen worse shaped trees as well, and you're gonna see it. It's that. This thing is an apple tree gone terribly, terribly wrong. And we'll see that tree up close. I just need to trim that bottom terrace because it's impenetrable except for the one path that goes between mine and Sinead's. So yeah, I'll do that now. The weather's nice. I feel like a change of pace. I have some pruning questions to contemplate, especially the almond tree. So I'm gonna strap the strimmer on, work until the batteries die, and you'll see me again, probably from the bottom terrace for a bit more pruning, if the weather cooperates. So the strimming is done up to 8 batteries worth. I ran out of juice basically, and so these 8 batteries once again lasted maybe just over an hour, and at the very least they allowed me to strim around all of the fruit trees except for the pear in the background there, which is a little bit too wet at the moment. And yeah, so now I can get to all the trees except for the lime one over there, but I'm happy with that. However, the rain has started to fall again, and I've done a little bit of research here and there, and something I've discovered recently is that you shouldn't be pruning in the wet weather. And so this crazy apple tree is gonna have to wait for another day, as are the rest of the trees. First of all, I don't want to be out in the rain. Secondly, I don't want to do something that's bad for the tree. I think that my pruning efforts are probably going to be sketchy enough as it is. I don't need to throw in doing it in the wrong type of weather into the mix as well. But let's take a look at this apple tree because I could probably use some advice. So here is the madness of my apple tree. This thing was looking really, really good, and then I basically just let it have loads and loads of apples without, oh, here's the sun now, of course. But it's supposed to rain all week, so I'm gonna just leave the pruning until next week. But what happened is that, yeah, too much fruit. All these branches sagged down. This one broke off completely. These all had started somewhere up here, and I never came in and braced them. This one I did try to pull over in some other direction, and then the rope broke, and I just don't know what to do, especially since apple trees, as instructed in my workshop, as I've mentioned before, are supposed to have one central leader. So it doesn't look like this one's gonna have that. And so I'm gonna have to figure out some way to try to get this vase shape while getting rid of all these saggy branches. So I might have to do some drastic stuff where I end up pruning off the branches quite far out and then hope these little ones grow into happy tree branches. I don't really know. So if anyone out there has any suggestions, at a minimum, I think I'm gonna get some kind of a stick to push everything up. But as far as all the other things, I'm not really sure how to approach this. So if anybody out there has apple pruning experience and has some ideas for this monstrosity, yeah, please do let me know. Another one I'd be looking for advice on would be this two-dimensional pear tree. I didn't know about the leading thing, so I snipped it off at the top. And I think I accidentally bought a pear tree that's, I think it's called espalier, that grows sideways. And I'm trying to make it grow out this way. So I've been chopping off all the branches going in this direction, and I'm hoping that these ones will move out in the other direction and make a three-dimensional tree instead of a two-dimensional crazy pear tree that I have right now, which is kind of hilarious, but also quite ridiculous. One good thing that's come from strimming, besides my immense enjoyment of it, is that I found my garden hose, and I can also see where the biggest puddles are. I've been walking back and forth to Sinead's in my very inappropriate Crocs, and I keep getting soaked every time I do, so now I can at least see where the water is. So I'm heading out in a couple of hours and need to clean myself up, but before I do, I've got one more thing up at the top that I can finish off. I don't want to do any more pruning, as I said, because it's supposed to be a really rainy week ahead, so I'm going to switch focus and do this one little small thing, which will make me feel better because I've been meaning to do it for a while. And I suppose that one small thing is technically two small things. These pieces are ready, they've been sanded, and I want to get them stained so that I can cross them off my list as just a couple more pieces of the pergola ready to go when I get a dry spell. As you can see, the weather has turned glorious, but I know that there is at least 20 mils of rain heading our way tomorrow, plus way more in the week. So I'm gonna get this done and call it a day on work. Okay, 2 coats onto the braces, and I'm not crazy about the paintbrush that I have. It's pretty old and weird, so it's leaving some streaks, but nothing this napkin can't clean up, and I think I might actually do this on the future coats as well. It's just a nice way to smooth out all of the paintbrush strokes. So I'm gonna end up putting another couple coats on these and on the other pieces that I have currently under the tarp. But getting this done today is just another step in the right direction. So as I said, we've got a rainy week ahead. I'm not sure what I'm gonna work on, but I do know that I have to get tidied up because I'm heading out later. So I'll say goodbye from today, and I'll see you tomorrow for hopefully some work, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's a new day, and it's not raining, but it is really cold, and ain't nobody wants to be working in this weather. So I've got the fire on, I'm making some mushroom soup, and I'm just gonna sit by my computer and do some video editing, because I have realized that this video has gotten out of control and it's super long. So I'm gonna cut the work there and get on with more land work when I have some dry weather, and in the meantime get back inside to work on the shower. I have some exciting news, hopefully, for the shower work. I've got a plumber coming on Wednesday, and I'm hoping to get a quote on just setting up the whole system, getting a water heater and all that stuff, and just getting it installed. Because I feel like making the shower but then not being able to use it as a shower would just be a real letdown. So he's coming Wednesday, and I'm gonna try to get things ready for that. I've mixed up some lime, I did that yesterday, and so I should be able to get most things done for him in time. And another thing that I meant to update on is the water results from Sinead's creepy water source. Unfortunately, the water is not potable. it is quite unsurprising considering there's sludge on the bottom and frogs live in there amongst other things. So the test was just a basic one, just to say whether it was drinkable or not. It's not. So now it's gone on for further testing to see what sort of filtration system needs to be used. So I'll update you on that when I go down and finally do the great reveal on Sinead's deck, which is coming soon. She's just finishing off a few small things. So I've been rambling on for way too long. This video was a fun one. I was so excited to get back out on the land, and unfortunately the weather hasn't really been cooperating, but that just seems to be the theme of these past couple of months. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And I'll see you in the next one.